Hey guys, it's Don Music here. I just have a little bit of time before I have to go out for my concert, but I wanted to watch a vlog with you guys. A warning vlog, number 25. This is where they talk about Queen of the Murder Scene Chapter 3, which is what I'm starting to work on now. So yeah, this is going to be exciting. Let's hear what they have to say about some of these things. Join me while we go down this rabbit hole a little further.
Hello again!
Hello guys.
Okay, so we're missing chapter 3 and 4. So I guess, should we do it all in the same vlog?
No, I think it should be different vlogs.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Chapter 3!
three.
Awesome! Okay, so we start off with Sinister Smiles. As you know, this is a duet between Pao and me.
Pao and I.
Really?
Yeah, Pao and I.
No,
Pao and I, sorry.
Pao and me.
Okay, so...
Danny was right.
Technically, what is happening...
Sorry,
okay, the last song was The Sacrifice, right?
Yeah, the last
So,
one was the
yeah,
sacrifice. The sacrifice
as you
is
remember,
the introduction of this like character that is the voices in her head. She literally feels so alone
that she creates...
that she like her subconscious creates like this other voice, like this other person inside her head. And
That's
basically
trying to,
the
make
sacrifice
her feel
is
better.
like, hey, I'm here to support you, but like let's say that this voice, this character, it's not a good voice, it's not a good character.
She's slowly
It's the
trying to take over.
basically.
Okay, so this is like exactly what Timberwolf was saying, and general gist of the concept was kind of on point. This is really cool to see.
Sinister Smiles is that like internal struggle of like our main character fighting against the voice in her head, and in the end of that song, the voice in her head wins and like takes over.
Yes.
And
as the song says, like the voice is repeating over and over and over, just break apart.
break,
Yes.
just break.
Let me take control of everything. Actually, the kind of turning point between this character and is actually in The Sacrifice, where she said like all the pain will be mine. Like let me just take
over. And
take
basically,
over
Sinister
everything.
Smiles. It's that part where she's fighting. I'm supposed to be like good girl. Danny's supposed to.
Good girl. That's kind of what I said. Dude, I feel so... it's not vindicated because no one was saying I was wrong, but in my head I was uncertain if I was right. I was rather insecure about it. So I'm vindicated from my own fears. Oh wow, this is going this is going down a dark place here. I'm not insecure at all, guys.
Well, not necessarily good girl.
Oh wait, well, main character girl then.
But
Okay, well there goes that theory.
like that.
Well, not innocent. No, basically, in that
Yes.
song, like my voice is supposed to be like
The
main
confused,
character, and Danny's supposed to be like the evil voice.
Yes.
And
I know.
in the end, the evil voice wins. Like Danny wins,
Yes.
and basically, Dull Knives is like the character taking over by like that voice. Like,
Okay, yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. That would be the next step, the next song that I'm going to be analyzing deeply. Dull Knives, cut better. I'm so looking forward to that. That'll be tomorrow probably.
fully and like
Enjoying.
basically turning into this
The
new like
Queen
coming
of
out of
the
the
Murder Scene.
cocoon, turning
Yes.
into like
I'm a cocoon, that's great. Cocoon, very good.
Queen of the
You know
Murder
that
Scene.
she's just realizing like
Yeah, and Queen
this
of the
is
Murder
weird, but I
Scene
like it.
is her fully accepting the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like, this is what I'm supposed to be, which is not
And
really a
don't
good
mess
decision.
with her
Yeah.
because
She's the Queen of the Murder Scene.
she's scary.
Awesome. Oh man, how Pow's brain works, eh? It's like it shifts gears. She's doing one thing and then she thinks of another thing that's completely abstract, but it makes sense to what we're talking about, or what they're talking about, I mean. And it's like she goes from like thinking of one conversation into another one over and over again.
Yes.
Queen of the Murder Scene was really fun to write. It started with basically all the melodies in the song were guitar melodies, were guitar
Cool stuff.
parts.
Actually, I just had the chorus on a guitar, like the chorus. You see, like the
Oh.
Yes.
Was only a guitar
That's
chord.
the
Oh. That's an awesome line. And they do it all in unison, bass and guitar and vocals. Same line, just maybe a different octave. Cool.
thing. We actually had a lot of trouble with
It
that
was
song.
a very difficult song to write because the lyrics, man.
Not only the lyrics, the music. Because
everything. Oh, it's like
I did that part, and then we realized that we started to fill in the parts of the song, and we realized that it was all like the same chord.
Danny's face right now. It's awesome. It's like, oops, we didn't make this quite complex enough.
Oh, it's one chord, right?
It's one chord.
It's well now it's
now we
now it's
changed
more
it.
chords,
But
right?
first it was one chord, like.
Yeah, it's not a complicated song even with the number of chords that are in it, but the melody makes it complex, and they all play like power chords on the melody across it, so it's actually very complicated, but I get what they're talking about. Cool.
It was really hard to write.
Yes.
I remember that we struggled a lot.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting because the songs that they struggle a ton with, like Ugh, and I guess Queen of the Murder Scene, and some other ones, right? The ones that came out of Ugh, which was, I guess, The Sacrifice, I think, was one of them also that came out of Ugh. At least part of it did, right? These are some of the greatest pieces of music of any of their albums. These songs that they struggled with so hard. I'm just really happy that they persisted. They were persistent and pushed through it and solved the problems and made great music out of them, because sometimes the greatest effort can result in the greatest results.
One of the songs that like in like terms of struggle, it was like Ugh, and then Queen of the Murder Scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
The songs that you
Definitely.
started.
Yeah, the songs that I started, I used.
Allie always has some way to just cut right to the chase. The songs that you start, they're always really hard to finish.
Yeah, the songs that Danny starts
I'm so
are
sorry.
usually like the hardest ones to write. But it was one of my favorite songs.
Yes.
After we finished it, and we
me
speak
too.
Japanese on that song. Like we at least I really wanted to like put a little bit of part like for influences there, because we have been watching a lot. Whoa, we wrote this song a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like a year ago.
Pow, man. It's weird how she just like shifts gears into like this weird. Look at her face right now. It's pretty wild. They are such different people from each other. What an amazing team, though.
Oh my god. Well, like in that time, I remember hearing that song, that word a lot, korosu, in animes, which is basically it's kill. Basically, they always be like korosu. So we wanted to incorporate that, and I just thought it was like the perfect song to say korosu. It was like very good, and yeah. So basically, korosu is the verb to kill. It's
okay. I just learned some Japanese.
Kill. Korosu means kill.
Cool.
Honestly,
So
it's very dark.
Yes.
It's very uncomfortable, and we know. But it was just something that fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And
our
of course, we're
character's
not
story.
promoting like for anybody. We're not encouraging anybody to go and like kill. Not
We're
really,
just
guys.
telling a story.
We're just telling a story. But
Oh man, is that their like legal statement to say we have no responsibility? This is, that's pretty funny that they're saying that. Just so you know, we don't want you to actually kill anyone. We're not condoning this. We're not encouraging it. It's a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. It reminds me of Pink Floyd. David Gilmour, the guitarist, legendary guitarist and one of the main frontmen from Pink Floyd, one of the two. He, back when they were creating the Dark Side of the Moon album, so this is like when they were just not even yet the world famous legends that they shortly were to become. In the mid 70s, I guess this would be. He was interviewed. They were doing it. There's a documentary. There's multiple documentaries, but I think this might have been part of Live at Pompeii, which had some documentary interview stuff in it, but it might have been a different film. Anyway, that there was a moment where David Gilmour was on camera and he said something like, some people, he was talking, or they were talking about how some people think that they might be bad influences on kids or whatever because maybe they do drugs or whatever, which doesn't really strike me as them. They're total intellectuals. But regardless, if they do or don't, it was the 70s. Like, no, we don't do anything like that. And with this completely unconvincing smile on his face, he said, "You can trust us." It just reminds me of that. It's like, yeah, sorry, disclaimer. We're good. You don't have to worry about this. You can buy the album. It's okay. It's not real.
Wait. The screams. Okay, the screams at the very end. It was Danny recorded them.
I love how Pao changes gears. It's so funny. It's like she just suddenly is like, changes lanes, changes gears. And her sisters seem as shocked by her as we are, right? It's like, but I mean, they're used to her, but they find it amusing too, how she just suddenly shifts over. So these screams, I'm interested in this because the screams that I've heard on that are really cool. On the album.
Them for the demo. It was not even.
Wait, what? I was talking. What?
The screams. Okay, the screams at the very end. It was Danny recorded them. We recorded them for the demo. It was not even for like the song. And we were like, okay, Danny, just let out a couple of screams, like chill, just
to see how it sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
in the end, and he was like, okay, let's do it.
I turned off the lights. Like
it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever endured in my life.
I don't know where I got those screams out. It was
perturbante. That's what it was. It was
horrifying.
We were like Jake, Alia, and I were just like in the room.
And the other,
we also had the lights turned off.
We also had the lights turned off because they bothered Danny.
Yeah.
And God, it was horrible.
The three of us were like,
it was all in one take. She was screaming horribly,
laughing,
and then she started laughing, and that was horrible.
The three of us were like,
guys.
oh my God.
This is awesome. She's freaking out her sisters in the dark in the studio. That's too cool. That is too cool.
We recorded the demos like in a week. Like all of them, we kind of like, we had that purpose of recording everything. So I was like, I was in character like the whole week.
I'm interested in this, right? So they were with Jake. Starts with C, I forget his last name, who I believe was the producer of the album. But if they're recording demos in a studio with him, so that's interesting. So they didn't do the demos maybe this time in their house. This time they did demos in a studio, or maybe Jake was at the house. I don't know, but it sounds like they were mentioning the studio. So they did demos first, and then they organized the demos and then recorded the whole album at a different studio, or maybe at the same studio but more formally after that. It's fascinating, the process.
So I was like,
cool.
I just let it all out, like.
It was awful.
But
it was.
Oh yeah, those sessions were like
Perturbante is disturbing.
Yeah,
it was
Good translation. Thank you, Pao.
disturbing.
But
But
it
was
made it really
perfect.
cool, yeah.
And we didn't even try it again. I was like, Danny, let's leave it like that. And when we recorded the song,
I don't know.
Pao does this a lot. He suddenly turns over and starts whispering, trying to decide if they should talk about something or not, maybe. I don't know. It's interesting.
no, okay, so we used the screams from the demo,
yeah.
and it sounded just
Actually,
like perfect.
There were some things that we actually used the things that we recorded for the demos
demo,
on the actual songs, like things that we couldn't really duplicate, like the
intro for Stalker and
the intro for Stalker.
Yeah,
That was recorded in here.
Yeah, in here.
Studio.
Vicios, how to say vicios.
Wait, what did...
And the actual songs, like things that we couldn't really duplicate, like the
intro for Stalker and
the intro for Stalker.
Yeah,
That was recorded in here in our home studio.
Vicios.
Our home studio. Okay. Thank you. Home studio. So that's what they're talking about. So they recorded some of those things in their home studio. I thought they had a pretty nice elaborate setup in the home studio. I've seen through the couple of hard to find photos that they actually do have a control room with the soundproof window between it and their main basement room there that they created. So that's pretty awesome. All right. So the guitar feedback was done in their home studio. Thank you, Danny, for clarifying.
How to say
The feedback.
And I knew that they did that. I'd read that multiple times over the internet that they used those parts from there. I think she actually talked about it in another video too.
Vicios. The feedbacks. The piano.
That was like a one-time thing. It came out perfectly.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yes.
It was also very disturbing. Okay, so that's basically chapter 3.
Yeah, that's chapter 3.
And a lot of people asked.
You know what's really cool is how good Danny is in the studio. I mean, she's an incredible front woman live, right? Like, astounding. My personal favorite right now. Even of the members of The Warning, Danny is my favorite as far as live leadership, front woman magnetism. But in the studio, I've always listened to all of her multiple guitar tracks she adds, and frequently multiple vocal parts that she overtracks herself and harmonizes herself. Sometimes it's her sisters, but sometimes it's just Danny doing all this stuff. She clearly is very comfortable in the studio, very at home doing studio production, which is awesome. It's some people are just not so happy in the studio. Some people really live in the studio. She's clearly brilliant in the studio, and I'd say brilliant live too. But yeah, that's cool.
Like the fill from Dull Knives that I removed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never a really big fan of it.
Oh, I know what she's talking about. I saw the first performance they did of Dull Knives was at a big concert, big outdoor concert, and she did way cooler fills. I'm sorry, but they were like really fancy, intense fills. But musically, they didn't hit the same shots as their sisters were playing. So I can understand why she wanted to change it. But they're much more technically impressive fills. They were almost very Neil Peart, like prog rock type fills, going around instead of staying in the tempo. And I mean, not the tempo change, but staying in the playing tempo, playing the time with some cool extra things in it. She just went really busy in the old version of it. So that's interesting how she's talking about this.
So when we started working on the song, I was like, you know what? I mean, let's take it out. And I really liked how it felt without it. And
it was to support the other line that we incorporated in that song. It was.
Okay, so.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool to hear it like that. I'm going to have to, when I do Dull Knives, I'll have to listen to that original one and put it in the video as well, though. This is very cool.
So we wanted to do that.
In that part, basically, instead of re-entering, like, I don't know how to say it. Instead of entering on, like, the downbeat, the, like, beat 1, with that, like, riff, it entered in the one.
Push.
It's not push. It has. I know it in Spanish.
The end of the 4.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the end of 4.
The end of the 4.
One and. Yeah, it's the end. I know it in Spanish. I'm sorry. So the end of the 4. We entered in the end of the 4. So it was like it pushed. So with the fill we couldn't do that. So it was like, let's just remove the fill, and I was like, yay! Okay, and so we left it like that. Yeah. And
also. One point that I'm sorry.
No, yo no tenía nada que decir.
Oh yeah, one important thing that we have been seeing, like, why didn't we make Dull Knives longer?
Oh.
Okay, so we actually did try, guys. We did.
Pal, you're hilarious. It's like she just suddenly joined the conversation again. She was off somewhere else in her mind. This is fascinating to see their interactions.
I know, we actually like incorporated a little solo, and then we went back to the chorus and everything. But you know what?
It was horrible.
It was awful. Nothing fitted like.
Oh, so no, she was listening, but she just remembered some specific event about it that Danny isn't talking about. That's what it was. And then she brought Allie up to speed by mentioning something that twigged her memory. This is interesting.
Correctly, the song was begging us to leave it like that.
Yeah, we did try to do
like
a ton of things.
We didn't want to fix something that was not broken. Like, no, sorry. Okay. Stop it, guys. Okay, so yeah.
Oh man.
Actually, we did try, but none of the.
Stop it, guys. Danny is such a boss.
We incorporated
so like made it feel less than it already was. Like it ended like this, and we just kind of like.
We liked it the way it was.
Yeah,
basically.
it ended on a chorus and stuff like.
No,
it
was bad.
No, it was bad. So like, thank you guys for really, really liking that song.
Yeah.
Like we're really proud of it too. So
yeah,
the good thing is that if you really, really love it and you want it to be longer, you can always play it again.
Exactly, and that was a really cool thing about it. That you got like left with this feeling that you just wanted it to continue, but
More.
there was nothing more. So you didn't have any other option but just to play it again. And we kind of loved that. So we were like,
Strategy.
why fix something that isn't broken?
I'm gonna say that's the
Yeah.
face of this blog. Okay,
This is awesome.
so yeah, that's kind of chapter 4. Yeah.
God, her sisters just make fun of her all the time when she mispronounces things or says something that's a little funny. That's awesome. Because recently they've been saying in recent interviews about how sometimes Danny can say things that just don't make sense. I'm seeing it once in a while. She's extremely literate, but once in a while she just goes off and says something that's just not a language.
Guys,
Just a little bit of fun fact. Okay, in Sinister Smiles, you see there's like a weird crash.
yeah.
It sounds like clapping, I
Yeah, it
guess.
sounds like some-
But basically, what we used for that,
It's a weird instrument.
no, it's a traditional Mexican instrument.
Oh, really?
Okay, our grandfather gave it to us like 5-6 years
Yeah, he
ago.
said like, so
5,
you
6
can
years
use
ago.
this in your songs, and we had it completely abandoned because it sounds really weird. It's
5,
like a
6 years abandoned in the back of the room. It was just
really
there.
it had like
Dust.
no spider webs. Like it
Oh!
had spider webs. I had to clean them out. I know.
Okay,
Both went, "Ugh." I think I did that face too. I just don't like spiders.
it sounded really cool, and it sounded like this weird, like tribal thing, which we were trying to like incorporate. It just sounded so cool, and we're like, leave it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the falsettos, I do them, and it's,
Ale sings them. There are a lot of people saying that it wasn't Ale.
but it is.
It is Ale.
just to-
Ale sings those parts. Ale
Yeah,
has,
the three of us sang the chorus.
yeah, but like in terms of range, like Ale has one of the highest ranges.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh no, you have
No.
the highest range.
I have the lowest.
I
range.
have the highest range, and
But
the,
just because you haven't worked on it, I had the lowest range.
oh yeah, Danny had the. That's why he said I have the highest range, but I'm the one who works on it less. But like for lower tones, I cannot reach them.
Because look, this is the difference between Pau and my voice. So she has the highest range, but her
Like my
harmonics, no, how is it? Overtones.
Overtone?
Her overtones are
deeper.
deeper. So her
So
voice
it
sounds
sounds like I
deeper.
can reach lower notes, but I cannot reach lower notes
She
at
reads
all.
higher notes than me, but my voice is like super high. So
Super high.
it sounds like I can reach higher notes, but actually I'm the one who can fit the lowest.
Lowest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Ale has
What's
just
the
like
song that goes like super low that you can't like
it's even out. I had to practice
even doubt it,
I had to-
and it's so
wait,
natural
do
for
it,
me.
do it.
Even doubt it.
And for me, it's even down.
And I can just
I
barely
can
do it.
barely reach it, but I had to practice so much for it so I could do it live. But
Yes.
I mean, it sounds good, so it's fine.
I wanted to hear what Pau was going to say about Ali's range, but she got cut off and didn't finish it. I wonder what she was going to say about it.
So yeah, we managed. Okay. I just wanted to say, guys, that even though like we planned this album with our own stories and something like even in our own heads, the story is a little bit different for each one of us. Like he's the one who started it, and I'm like each one of us has a different imagination.
Oh, I see. So they're talking about that room for interpretation stuff that we all experience with their lyrics as well. They also have individually within their band. That's interesting.
At the end of the day, so whatever you guys come up with can be that too, you know? It's like everyone can give it a little bit of taste of what.
Yeah, a little bit like their own twist.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we
Everything's
even
possible.
should say the real. Oh, we are at some point going to say the real story.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen a lot of comments and like, where did they get that
I know.
from? But it's actually
Actually,
pretty interesting.
You guys kind of describe it better than.
This is really interesting. I'm fascinated by their ability to accept that concept because it's so hard as songwriters to have someone misunderstand what your intention was. But as long as they're finding some solace in it or some intrigue in it, then that's what all that matters. If it moves you and it means something to you, that's a connection that any songwriter should appreciate, and they clearly do.
Yeah, honestly.
That's why I think that's why we made it into songs. If not, we would have made a book. But
Oh, good point.
Thank
like-
God we didn't make a book because we cannot even explain ourselves with words.
you guys are so.
Oh man, that's kind of true. But I bet you if they focused, they could write a really good book together.
Descriptive, it's awesome. Like
It's amazing,
we read
guys,
your
seriously.
comments and it's like, that was what's in my head, you know. So like, so yes, you guys are spot on. Like some of you guys' comments are super great, really. So stick with your own stories too. I think we kind of make the story vague enough so
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can.
And it's actually
you know,
like it's a very
twist your-
predictable story, honestly.
It is.
So it's fun that everybody can understand it and everybody can like. And there is some details that are not really like present in the story, so anybody can. Come
And
up,
there's
like, with
some
their own little-
details that we have in our head, but at the moment of communicating them, they just don't come out like as deep. But like
Exactly.
we
I
really
mean,
as
my
deep.
like my version of the story can be really different from their version because I remember that we changed the story so much.
Oh yeah, we did.
So everybody has a different personality for the character. So it's really cool that you guys are like just
Doing
taking
it
the
too.
character
Yeah.
and just like making it like
We love hearing
Yeah.
your stories, and we also we really wanted to focus on the psychological part of what the character was feeling, like everything that's going on in her mind.
So I just wanted to make sure that the crinkling is them, not me. I didn't think I was crinkling anything, but you never know.
And that's what we wanted to project: the uncertainty, the confusion, and then the total craziness. So like,
I think you portrayed that very effectively.
I think it. Oh, sorry. I'm babbling now, but you see, that's why we make music, so we can speak through
yeah.
that. So yeah, okay. I really do not have the words, but everything that you are saying is so right. I mean, we appreciate that you find the deepness in our message and our story. It's not just a novel for us. It's like it really carries a message, not just like she's like a murderer.
Murder.
Murderer.
Yeah, it's really cool that you guys are putting your own little twist to the story and that everybody interprets.
Interprets. No,
Is that correct?
Interprets. Yeah.
Interpreten.
En serio.
I think
That you guys are interpreting.
Sounds so weird.
Interpreting. Yeah.
Interpret.
Oh my god, they sound like a flock of little baby birds interpreting. Oh, it's really cute when they're all trying to figure out the interpretation. There we go. And they're trying to figure out the pronunciation of a word, and they got off track because of being bilingual. I can't imagine having to think in two languages.
Interpretando.
So weird.
In Spanish, it makes sense that you guys are like
Yeah, making
interpretando the story your own way. It's really cool, and we really love to hear like your feedback about it. And we're glad that you're taking it like with such open arms because we know it's not an easy topic to swallow. I mean, we're talking about a murderer here, somebody who kills people, which is not something easy to swallow. And we knew that the moment that we were writing that there were going to be some people who were really not going to like what we were talking about, and we're not going to like the twist. No, not the twist, but I mean the turn that we took when writing our music,
Yep.
because we understand that it's very different from what we've done before. But we really like what we came up with, and we're really proud of it.
Should be. It's an incredible album.
So we're glad that most of you are really liking it, and that you guys are like just taking this story with open arms now. Like, we really love you for it. Thank you, guys.
yes, thank you for all your support.
Oh, yes, and so I think this is the end of blog number of chapter 3, and we're gonna do like chapter 4. I think we should do it right now. We're on a roll, girl.
Yeah.
Not like, I mean, pause
Not
the
in this
video
video because it's
and-
gonna
yeah,
be super
yeah.
long. We'll let you rest a bit, but chapter 4 will come soon.
Like right now. 'cause
Awesome.
We're recording right now.
Okay,
then
yeah,
we're gonna
but
upload it.
yeah,
So
we'll-
yeah, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. See you on the next
Bye.
vlog. I was gonna say chapter. Bye.
Well, that was very, very cool. I enjoyed that. Definitely gave me some insight into what they're doing in their songwriting system, at least what they used to do. I presume it's similar now. And I'll be keeping some of this in mind when I'm continuing my dive into the rest of the songs in this chapter. All right, guys, I got to take off. I got to go get changed in my tuxedo and play my concert. I will be talking to you tomorrow. Have a great night. Like, subscribe, comment away, please. Thank you. Rock and roll.